What's your go-to trash talk line?
Oh, dang, I'm trying not to be that person.
I feel like I've heard it on the other end. You'd be like, "She can't guard
Oh,
me."
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, or
It
I'll
seems
say
like it's
about my
like,
teammates, like, usually I don't trash talk first, but, like,
yeah.
if I hear someone say anything, I'm, like, super protective over my teammates, so, like,
Mhm.
if they say anything, I'm like, "Yeah, they can't guard you," like, I'll say it right
Yeah.
in front of them, "They can't guard you."
Presented by State Farm. Welcome back to Sometimes I Hoop. I'm your host, Haley Jones, recently retired Stanford Hooper, and I've officially announced I'm headed to the WNBA draft, so no bonus COVID year for me. But this isn't about me. I've got one of my friends and a Pac-12 rival. Quick humble brag, UCLA's leading scorer for the past 3 seasons, all Pac-12 performer year in and year out, and the spark plug who led her team to the Sweet 16. We have Charisma Osborne. Thank you for being on today.
Thanks for having me, I'm excited.
Oh, of course. So we'll just kind of jump into it. You told me just a bit ago that we have some news.
Yes.
So I would love for you to break your news with us here.
Yeah, so I decided that I'm gonna take my 5th year at UCLA. And yeah, I'm super excited about that. And next year I'll enter the draft, obviously, but
Mhm.
super excited to come back.
That's amazing. Huge
Thank you.
congratulations. So what do you think made you decide, we all have the 5th year. What was your reasoning why you wanted to come back? Is there something you feel like unfinished business? Is there something else? Let us in on the decision-making process.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things. Obviously, I go to UCLA, which is an amazing university. So going back and getting my master's degree, like that's super nice. And then even just this year, like I had so much fun with my team. And like we both came in as freshmen and COVID like kind of messed things up our first year. And then
Mhm.
the second year was the bubble. And then last year was not the greatest for our team. But last or this past year kind of felt like the most normal, and I was like I kind of expected that the last 4 years to be like that. So
Mhm.
I kind of just really enjoyed it, and I wanted to experience it again and like love my teammates and my coaches and the people at UCLA. So just to be able to like go back and be around them for one more year, I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, you're completely right. This was really our one normal season. Like
Yeah.
even last year, there were some games where it was no fans or whatever it may
Mhm.
be. So we kind of got a little taste of it. And I'm excited that you're going to get another
Yeah.
one. And you
Yeah.
guys return a core group next year. So you
Mhm.
must be excited to play with them again.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We basically would have like almost our whole team back. Like I think maybe 2 or 3 people are leaving
Hmm.
um from being seniors and stuff, but we basically have our whole team back, and like even as you know, like we had a super young team last year. So
Hmm.
just like our freshmen getting experience, and then people who have played, like having a veteran group as well. So I'm excited. I think next year will be really fun.
Yeah, you guys return a lot of talent and you bring in
Yeah.
good talent as well. So it'll be very exciting to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to talk about the championship game.
Yeah.
LSU showed up and it was wild all around. I was watching from the Dallas airport Chili's and I was like, this is crazy. But I mean, what were your thoughts about the game? Did you expect it to go that way or what'd you think?
I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, both teams are really good teams. You wouldn't make it that far if you weren't a great
Mhm.
team. But it was crazy. Like even I was watching the men's game yesterday and I was like, oh yeah, the women's game was way more exciting.
Yeah.
But obviously both teams have really great players, and I thought it was really cool, even especially for LSU, to like have some of the players who come off the bench really step up, especially in the first half. So I enjoyed it. Like I was watching it with my friends and stuff like that. So we were like texting back and forth and like
Yeah.
just like live tweeting it kind of a little bit. So it was super fun. And even just to see on Twitter, like everyone talking about the game, like it's just been really cool to see for women's basketball.
Just the pub around our tournament this year was crazy. Like sleeper teams
Mhm.
coming out the blue, upsets of this and that, players going stupid, and like somebody like
Yeah,
Jasmine Carson coming in the game yesterday and going crazy. Like it's insane to see just the talent across the country. And I feel like this year's tournament has got to be the wildest one since
for
we've
sure.
been in school. I think it
For
really,
sure.
yeah, nothing is really parallel to it. But I know coming after the championship game, there's a lot of tea out there on the internet about that game,
Yeah.
whether it be the reffing, the technical fouls, talking about that Angel and Caitlin trash talk. I know for me,
Yeah.
I was here for all of it. I thought that,
Same.
it's great to just see like that competitive nature that I think
Mhm.
a lot of people don't kind of correlate to women's sports in general. And so for it to be on the biggest stage and you have a huge personality on both teams, what were your thoughts about all the tea coming out after the game?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Like, obviously, we've never really seen anything like this before. Like, it's popping up like on Instagram, on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
like everywhere. So, like, that's pretty cool just to see that like women's basketball is being talked about a lot. But I'm honestly, I would say I'm probably the biggest trash talker on my team. So I was for it. Like, I think it makes basketball exciting. It makes it fun, like playing against other teams and like just being super competitive. So I think it was just really good for women's basketball.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I know that you tweeted after the game, kind of in support of talking about there's a double standard that Black athletes have when playing in these games. And I think that that double standard goes to, the media. It talks about the trash talk, the way that we may be perceived compared to other players when we're just showing that same emotion for the game.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a double standard just with Black people in general, but specifically Black athletes, and in this case,
Mhm.
Black um, women. I think it just brought like some awareness to what Black athletes have to go through. But I
Mhm.
think it was super cool. Like, some of my favorite actresses or like people that I follow who are super famous, like talking about it, tweeting about it, just showing their support for like Angel Reese. I thought that was pretty cool. So it sucks that like this is all happening, but I think it's just bringing more awareness to like these issues that Black people have to go through.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, I mean, moving back a little bit to the 2022-23 season, was there a team that, surprised you or in the beginning of the season you would have never thought about that ended up making a run in the tournament or even in the pack?
Yeah. Okay, I have two teams. So definitely
Okay.
Miami. I mean, I didn't really hear much about them all year long,
Mhm.
honestly. So it was crazy to see them make it to the Elite Eight, I think, which
Mhm.
is pretty
Mhm.
cool. And then even Colorado like making it to the Sweet 16, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was really cool for them. And I think they were a sleeper team all year, like even in the
Yeah.
Pac-12. Like, no one expected them to finish top three, I think they finished.
Mhm.
Or top four, I don't know. But yeah, they were a sleeper team all year long. So it was cool to see them make it far in the tournament.
So we've had the conference debate on the pod on who is the best conference. And I talked about a little bit on the last one was completely biased opinion. I'm going Pac 12, right? We
Mhm.
both got to see it. The scouts, the talent, top to bottom, the pace that we play with. There's so many different weapons, is the pack. But if I'm going unbiased and I saw like two SEC teams in the Final Four, I might have to give my nod to them outside of the pack. I would give
Okay.
them a very, very close second. But how about you?
Yeah, obviously I gotta go with the pack.
Yeah.
I just think it's very diverse. Like, you just see so many different styles, which I think is
Mhm.
why Pac-12 teams do so well in the tournament, because they're seeing different styles and they're prepared. But I do agree with you. The SEC did do really well this year, and
Yeah.
like you said, two teams made it to the Final Four, so that's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I'm always gonna go with the pack. But the
Back to
SEC
back.
is like, exactly back to back. The SEC is right under there.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But USA, I think that's when we met for the first
Yeah.
time. And
Hmm.
so I need to hear, we talked about first impressions on other episodes, but what was your first impression of me? And then I'll give mine of
Okay.
you.
First impressions. I thought you were really nice. Like, I feel like we had never met each other, but even like the media, like obviously you're from Northern California, I'm from Southern
Yeah.
California. So I felt like they kind of try to like pit us like, oh, Haley or Charisma, like, So the
Hmm.
first time seeing you, like, I was like, oh yeah, she's really nice. Like, the media just makes it seem like there's this big rivalry here, and it's not.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought you were really nice, super cool and funny. And it was just great like playing with you and being on the team with you.
No, I couldn't agree. Like the media between NorCal and SoCal was definitely like, it's one or the other. One's
Yeah.
better. Who is it? When in reality, we have such different styles of playing and like
Exactly.
both being so good, but just we play so differently. Because when you play, you're so
Yeah,
intense, so
I'm locked
focused.
in, bro.
You're
I'm
locked
locked in.
in. And so I'm like, wow, like, is she gonna want to talk to me? Does she hate me? I don't know. And so when we actually talked, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so nice and just so funny, just having so much fun. And like that summer, it was so fun. I feel
So
like
fun.
going to where'd we go? Latvia, Lithuania, and like Belarus. I was a
Belarus,
little
yeah.
nervous, but I think that the team we
Facts.
had, it made it so much fun. And so
Yeah.
everybody got along. We had a great time. I remember we were always goofing around with Sam because she brought freaking ketchup everywhere.
Facts. Facts.
Kind of off USA basketball, we could talk a little bit about recruiting, but when did the process start for you? I know for some people it started in middle school, and for others, somebody like Fran, she didn't even start playing till high school.
Yeah, that's
So when did that wow, but
wild.
when did that recruiting process start for you?
Yeah, it started pretty young. I would say like 7th grade-ish, and then I got
Mhm.
my first offer from USC actually, um, like, at the end of 8th grade, so I guess it started in middle school, which was pretty cool, like, just getting, obviously, looking back, like, letters, they're so generic, like, everyone gets the same message saying they can't contact you until your
Yeah.
junior year, but I did think it was, like, super cool at the time, like, even just knowing that colleges and coaches were interested in me and, like, wanting me to play at their university, so it was pretty cool.
No, definitely. I remember I got recruited around the same time, like 7th grade, the 8th grade is when it started picking up. But I'm any school that hit me up, I was like, "Oh my God, I love you. I want to go to your school." Like,
Literally.
I'm like, "This is my mountaintop. I will go anywhere." I remember telling my mom, UC Santa Barbara was like the first school that reached out to me in the 7th grade. And I was like, "Go Gauchos." So, it's funny. The recruiting is crazy and it lasts so
Mhm.
long. You're starting your recruiting at 13 and you don't even make your decision until you're like 17, 18, getting out of
Exactly.
college.
Yeah.
But so how did you go through starting to wean down your choices? Like what were your non-negotiables when looking at a school? What were your main priorities?
Yeah, I thought education was kind of a big thing for me,
Mhm.
just because like, I went to a really good high school, so, that was, like, super important to me. So, even in the schools that I had, like, in my Final 5. I don't even remember them, but, like, Duke was in it, like, USC, UCLA, like, those are good academic schools, obviously, and I think their relationships just, like, was super important to me and, like, with my coaches and, like, what exactly they would expect from me going to UCLA. Was basketball the only thing there? Like, was I
Mhm.
gonna be, cared for as a player and not and a person and not just one or the other? And then obviously I wanted to go somewhere that had great achievements. Like obviously Jordan Canada, Monique Billings, like they were all there and they really kind of put UCLA back on the map. So just to like kind of follow in their footsteps a little bit and kind of take over, like that was kind of important to me as well. So obviously when on my visit, I was like, okay, I love it here. But then I was also like, I love playing in front of my family and friends, like having them come to my games and be able to support me like that was just so much fun and so big for me. So I think both like UCLA was such a great fit for me, but also like keeping in the back of my head, like, okay, this is fun. Like I get to play in front of my mom, my sister, my dad, like whatever the case may be. So it's been really cool, honestly, being able to have like my family and friends come to the games and just be able to support me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like my grandparents have season tickets, and then my mom and dad are at every game.
I'm
And I
dead.
feel like I'm always the one asking the team, "Oh, okay, so who has extra tickets to send me? Because I have these people
Same.
coming." Like I'm always the one scouting. Like even preseason, I'm like, "So I need 12 tickets for this game. Oh, senior
Yeah.
night, I need 20." Like I'm ahead of the game. All of our overseas players, they know any extra tickets, it goes to Haley first. So every weekend they're like, "Do you need them or can I give them away?" But how do you think the team has evolved from, freshman year, sophomore year, US only at 8 people to now, and you and Cameron and Gina are those veteran leaders that you guys had. So what was, the biggest evolution that you saw within the program from your teammates? How did you guys become the team that you are now?
Especially last year was like a big part of like how we are today.
Mhm.
I think we just kind of had like like last year was like a shock to us, like not making the tournament, and then obviously not playing as well, and like obviously we had a lot of injuries and a lot of things that were like out of our control. But still not even being able to make the tournament. Like I couldn't have predicted that happening in my 4 years in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was just super crucial into this year and like wanting to change the culture and make sure that like everyone was working hard all of the time and that we were always putting the team first, regardless of like what your stats look like or like how well you're playing. Like how can you put the team first and do what's best for the team? So um I think the seniors that I had my freshman year and even my sophomore year did like a really great job at like showing that culture, which made it easier for like me and Cameron and Gina and Brent to like be able to withhold that standard that they had for our or my teams in the past. So I think that was super helpful this year. And like obviously we had freshmen and they did a great job of just like learning from us and being able to carry on like what we were telling them onto the court. So obviously it's like a group effort. Like you, if you're going to lead, you need people to follow you, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the freshmen did a great job of following us veterans and us seniors.
Yeah, I mean, it's both ways. It's talking, but actually creating a relationship where people are going to listen. Because if it's
Yeah.
just talking at a brick wall, then nothing's going to get
Yeah.
done. And so
Right.
half of the journey is the buy-in.
Yeah.
And you talked a little bit about, you guys not making the tournament last year. What was it like kind of going on the journey that you guys had to, making a Sweet 16 run? Was it you're going to prove people wrong? We belong in the rankings. What was your mindset heading into this season?
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I didn't really have much expectation of like the media. I was just like, okay, people are going to say what they want to say regardless. Like they don't know any of us really personally, so like let them say whatever that they want to say. But obviously you'd never know like how freshmen are going to come in, like if
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be able to come in and adjust really quickly or like how you never know how long it's going to take. So I didn't really know. Like we had a lot of new freshmen in and then Gina coming back and we had like new players this year who maybe hadn't played in the past. So it was definitely like a balance. Like in the summer, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be rough as we start getting into practice.
Uh-huh.
Just because we had so many new people and them trying to learn all of the things and kind of like catch up a little bit. But I think as the season went on, like I was like, okay, wait, this team can be something really special. Like obviously we're super young and there's going to be freshmen, like they're going to make freshman mistakes. We all been there, done that. But just to see like how much we've grown from the beginning to the end, like I think we deserve to be a top 15 team. Like
Mm-hmm.
the way that we started playing towards the end, I think just showed that. But I'm super proud of this team and like how we started off unranked and just to see like how we made it to the Sweet 16 at the end, like that was just super fun and like super rewarding to see like all of the work that we put in the summer and preseason just like come to fruition.
Yeah, no, you guys had a great season and a great run. I mean, the Pac-12 run, y'all went crazy in the tournament and then you kept that momentum going. But, moving off the court a little bit, we could talk about the NIL space.
Mhm.
And how has the NIL process been for you?
Yeah. So for me, honestly, this year I kind of was like taking a step back, kind of just like trying to enjoy my senior year and like
Mm-hmm.
just experience it. And finally it was normal. So I was just trying to really like focus on basketball and school and just like the college life. But I feel like it's changed now. Like I've recently, I don't know if I'm supposed to announce, I don't care. It comes out tomorrow anyways. But I signed with Clutch Sports. So
Okay.
I'm going to be doing that with NIL with Clutch Sports this year. So I think this year I'll probably take it more seriously and be more interested in certain things. But this year I didn't really do too much with it. But I did think it was cool, like seeing everyone, like seeing the things that you were doing, seeing the things that other people were doing around the country. Like it's just super cool to see people being able to take advantage of themselves and not have to like hide all of these things because the NCAA said that it wasn't
Yeah.
okay for us to like make money off of ourselves, which is crazy. But it's
Mm-hmm.
super cool to see people be able to do that now.
Yeah, signing with Clutch is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so much fun watching everybody sign these cool deals across the
Mhm.
country. And so when I see somebody sign some crazy deal, I'm like, hey, yo, like that's lit. I'm
Yeah.
I'm commenting, getting your bag, do this
Yeah.
and that. And it's also cool, like knowing everyone personally and knowing what they're into. And so with somebody
Mhm.
like Aaliyah, right? And we both see her wear Crocs literally
Right.
every day. And then I
All
see
the
the
time.
Crocs deal come out, and I'm like, oh, it's only right. Like it makes
Yeah.
sense. But what's the best advice that you've been given about the NIL space and branding yourself?
I think the best advice is just be yourself. Like
Mhm.
it's gonna be so hard if you're trying to be somebody else and be this person that you're not really. I don't know how to really say that, but the person that you aren't like
Yeah.
really are, I guess. I don't know. But just being yourself and being authentic in that, I think it just makes things easier, smoother, and um, yeah. So I would just say be yourself, and it'll be more fun when you can be yourself and not feel like you have to put on this front or this like face and or be this person that you're not. So yeah, just be yourself. What do you think?
No, I couldn't agree more. I think that it's very transparent when somebody is putting across messages that they don't even believe in or like
Mhm.
trying to be someone that they're not. I think that you can really see through that pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
I think that both of us, one of our, core values that we stand on is being authentic and being who we
Hmm.
are. And I think that
Yep.
people can tell that through the way that we play, through the way we are on social media, through the way we speak in interviews, whatever it may be. It's very clear to see people who are genuine with their platforms and then
Yeah.
people who are just kind of, signing deals to sign deals and they may not
Right.
even believe in the product that they're using. So I
Mhm.
couldn't agree more. And I think that everything great is going to come from that. But one thing that I've talked a lot about, just with friends or other people across the country is what it's like being in the space as a Black woman and
Mhm.
what it is, the different hurdles that you have to jump through, the different type of companies that may want to work with you, some that may not.
Mhm.
But how has it been for you navigating that space as a Black woman? Have there been challenges that you feel? Has it been, you think it's been pretty normal? What has that been like?
Yeah, I definitely think that's always going to be there. Just being a Black woman, like the opportunities just aren't the same as for other races and other
Hmm.
people. So I think that's always just going to be like a hurdle in life until things start to change in terms of that. But like I said, I haven't really done too much with the NIL space, but I do think it's interesting, like seeing, like when I do see things on social media, like who they decide to choose, like who they
Hmm.
decide to use as the face of like whatever company it may be. Like I think I do notice those things, and like sometimes I am curious. I'm like, okay, like I wonder why they chose that person, or like why they didn't choose this person, or like whatever the case may be. Like, and not out of like jealousy or anything, but just like, okay, like maybe they chose a white person. Like, well, maybe could they have chosen a Black person, or maybe both people?
Hmm.
Who knows? But I definitely think that that will be a hurdle just in life, unfortunately. And hopefully things change and get easier, but I definitely can see that in some spaces, especially like NIL, that that could be a thing. But I think right now, like with LSU and like Angel and Flaugier, like just seeing them like get NIL deals and stuff like that, and obviously their team played really well. I think it's super cool to like see them get like the hype and the publicity around like all of that. So
Yeah.
hopefully those opportunities continue to come for Black women.
100%. I think that, just seeing other Black women sign big deals, and I'm sure like Angel and Flage, the growth that they're getting on social media,
Yeah.
then they're going to get the recognition that they deserve signing deals and this and that. And then from that, it's just going to continue to open the door for the rest. Kind of heading into our last segment here, we do a rapid fire vibe check.
Okay.
So I'm going to need all your answers to be as quick as possible off the noggin. We've had some issues in the past with people going, and taking a few minutes. Well, no time for it. We need we need speed
Straight to
here.
the point. All right.
Straight to the point. Okay, so here we go. First question is, what's the drill you never want to see on your practice plan?
5-star closeouts.
Oh, that sounds
Take that
awful.
out.
That sounds
Yep, take that
absolutely
out.
awful. Yep, take it out. Okay, what's your off the court go-to sneaker
Oh, Jordan ones or Uggs. I wear
or
Uggs a
Uggs?
lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
we have
less
on
slippers.
opposite sides of the spectrum, but both great options. I
Yeah,
see.
exactly.
Okay, game-winning shot or game-winning steal?
Oh, I really love defense, but the shot, like that's legendary, you know?
It's
Like that's
legendary.
legendary.
I'm with you. Okay, and one or three-pointer?
And one.
Mhm.
It's tough.
D
That's
the
tough.
hype that comes from it, and one.
Facts.
Ice pack or ice bath?
Ooh, ice pack.
Ice pack, yeah, ice baths are freezing,
They're
freezing.
tough.
Okay, what's your go-to move on the court?
Go to move. Um, Definitely. maybe like in and out cross. It depends. If they bite at the in and out, then I could just, keep going. But if they don't, then cross over.
I got you. Okay.
Yep.
Where's the hardest place to play on the road?
Ooh. I would say probably maybe Arizona. I just
That's what I
remember
was
going there
thinking.
and it is so loud in there. Like you cannot hear anyone. So probably Arizona.
Yeah, I agree. Arizona's loud. They get a lot of
So
fans.
loud. Yeah.
Okay, what's the college with the best facilities?
Oh. Um I'm just gonna go with UCLA. I don't really know too much about all of the other schools, only the schools I got recruited to.
Mhm.
But like we have our own like separate facility for just basketball, so like that's super nice. So I'm gonna go with UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA is nice. I wouldn't give it to Stanford. I would say I would say UCLA is up there. I think Poly is gorgeous.
Yes, it
And I
is.
think during our COVID year, we got to practice at your facilities, and it's nice. The extra
Yeah,
building is
yeah, it
nice.
is
The one
for
I
sure.
always say is Oregon's nice just because of Nike and everything that they have there. They
That's a
have
good
nice
point.
stuff.
Yeah,
But UCLA is up there for me too.
for sure, for sure.
What is your biggest basketball ick?
Oh, when you give like a post player like a great pass and they miss the layup,
They don't
like
finish.
like I just did all of that and you go miss the layup. Like that's crazy.
I got you. And you're like,
Yeah,
I did all that just for,
right.
oh, I'm not hearing
Yeah,
it. Okay.
exactly.
And then last question here is, what is your best impersonation of Coach Corey?
Oh God. Um, what does she do? She does a lot of things.
She's very animated, which I
She
love.
is. Oh my gosh. Okay, this isn't really an impersonation, but it's so funny. And I probably shouldn't be like paying attention to this in the film. But when we watch film, um, of us, like you can see her on the sideline, obviously. And like whenever we like shoot a shot or like a shot goes up, like she like moves, like it's
Yeah,
like
she doesn't
controlling
lean.
the
She
shot.
doesn't lean.
Yeah, yeah. That is so funny to me. It's not an impersonation, but
It's a
she
good
does
one.
that all the time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I think Corey is so funny because like I know whenever I'll take out the ball like in front of your bench, Corey
Uh-huh.
will try to like tell me something. And she's like, Haley, don't make the pass. Or like, Haley, this. I'm like,
Oh my
Corey.
God.
I'm like, please. I'm trying to lock in right now.
That's funny. I
It's
didn't
funny.
even know that. That's
She's
hilarious.
funny. She's funny. She be chatting with me during the games. I'm like, she's trying to get me out the focus. I'm,
Yeah.
Corey, I'll talk to you after the game. There's no
That's
time. But
that's
she's
funny.
always one of the nicest coaches in the handshake lines. It's nothing but good vibes with her.
That's funny.
But Charisma, thank you so much for being on today. This has been so great, so fun, and I'm so excited for you coming back next year. Yes, go Bruins, kind
Go
of.
runs.
Go Bruins when I'm coming back to watch you and I'm not,
Gotcha.
playing against you
Okay.
anymore.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
but we'll be back soon with another episode, always following the latest on women's hoops. This has been Sometimes I Hoop.